post. Today, I want to talk about the roommate trap in marriage. The roommate trap in marriage. Good afternoon. Good afternoon. Greetings. Thank you for joining us. Thank you. Thank you. Pink pop bowl. Thank you. Thank you. I appreciate you too. If you're watching me on YouTube, Facebook, and Instagram, thank you. You're welcome. Welcome to join us live. We are live right now on TikTok, streaming to you from TikTok. So thank you for joining us. I appreciate you. If you're watching, hit the follow button if you haven't done so. Hit the like button if you haven't done so. And also, for those of you watching on TikTok, please hit the follow button if you haven't done so. Hit the follow button if you haven't done so. Good afternoon. Good afternoon. Blessing and Rachel, you're welcome. I see you all. So where are you watching from, everybody? Who wants to talk to me? I'd like to know where you're all watching from. Where are you watching from? Where are you watching from? Who's watching? Where are you watching from? From Ghana, first to recognize. Jamaica, Wataguana. Hey, my husband and I are watching from Namibia. Whoa, Namibians. Namibians. London, United Kingdom. Yes. Botswana. We got Botswana in the midst. Oh, Miami. Is that Miami? No, Florida. Miami. Yeah, Miami, Florida. Thank you for joining us. From France, from South Africa, everywhere. Wow. Wow. We have a lot of people watching us from everywhere. South Africa. Thank you for joining us, everyone. Okay, now do me a favor. Share the live stream. Kenya, we got Kenya in the midst. Yes, Nairobi. Why won't you have Nairobi in the midst? We should have. Okay, let's go. All right, thank you. I just wanted to acknowledge those of you watching, and I appreciate Uganda. Thank you, Botswana, Uganda. A lot of you are watching. A lot of you are watching. Okay, let's begin. Let's take this seriously. Roommate trap in marriage. When you still live together, but relationship has disappeared. You still live together, but relationship has disappeared. You live together, but relationship has disappeared. I keep saying that a lot of marriage do not end with divorce. A lot of marriage do not end with divorce. They end emotionally. I remember I did a video one time. It was titled Emotional Divorce. Emotional Divorce. If you haven't watched that video, you like to watch it on my post. When I talked about people get divorced emotionally first before it happened physically. And a lot of people are not paying attention to the emotional divorce. So there are two people living in the same room, the same house, but emotionally they have ended the marriage without even knowing. They still sleep under the same roof. They still pay the bills. They still discuss the children. They still ask some questions. Oh, have you picked them up from school? What are we eating? They are discussing. They're having all these normal discussions. But somewhere along the way, they stop asking each other, how are you doing? How are you? How are we feeling? They stop asking each other, are you okay emotionally? They stopped. They stopped asking each other, do you still feel close to me? It's been 5 years in marriage. It's been 10 years in marriage. It's been 15 years in marriage. Now, it's as though we are getting too familiar. Too familiar not to ask, do you still feel close to me? Too familiar not to ask, Are you okay emotionally? We are too familiar not to ask, how are you today? How are you feeling? Too familiar. We can talk about logistics. We can talk about bills. We can talk about work. We can talk about traveling, but we can't talk about how we feel. We can't sit down to engage on the things that dear most to us, how we feel. And this is what I call the roommate trap in marriage. You are functioning together, but you are no longer emotionally experiencing each other. You see, there is a rebuilding that must take place. The reason I'm sharing this with you, so that you can begin to learn that there is a rebuilding process that you must take place, that must happen. Rebuilding the emotional intimacy in your marriage is what I'm calling you to do. If what I'm going to share with you today, you are familiar with it, I'm calling on you on a rebuilding process. It is possible. But I want to diagnose the problem. That's what I'm doing. I'm doing diagnosis right now. That's why I call it the roommate trap. I want to explain what it is. You are managing a household instead of nurturing a relationship. That's what you're doing. I did a video not too long ago. I'm not sure how many of you watched it. I'm talking about the selection, a selection system from women who seems to be successful. How they are missing it. Some women have become managers instead of partners. They have become managers, project managers. Their partner is the project. They are the one managing it. So when it comes to household, most women are very good at managing the household. They fail in nurturing the relationship. Most men are carried away by the fact that the woman should manage the household. As long as the man is providing and the woman is managing the household, they just think that is marriage. So the relationship between them is not taken care of. Now, here's the controversial part of it. A marriage can look stable from the outside while quietly dying from emotional starvation on the other side or on the inside. A lot of people don't understand this. Your marriage may look as though everything is fine from the outside, but internally, inside is dying. Emotional starvation is happening. There may be no affair, no screaming, no shouting, no divorce papers yet, no dramatic betrayal yet. But there is also very little emotional intimacy, very little curiosity, very little affection in your marriage, very little vulnerability, very little intentional connection, very little. You become two responsible adults running the same organization, the household now, because that's now an organization, because that becomes your project, the household. I'm providing. I work all night to take care of the family. That's the complaint from the man. And the woman say, well, I'm doing everything. I take care of the chores. I do this. I take care of the children. I do this. I do that. So I'm also working too. So both of you are now focusing on the organization, but the organizers, the directors of the organization are not taken care of. Both of you are not taking care of yourself. It's like you are just working, not taking getting back from it. Listen very carefully. I don't think there is anybody who will get a company running without paying themselves. You'll just be running a business. You're running a company like this without paying yourself. That means the company does not even pay you. You don't get back from the company. You will eventually shut down. You will file for bankruptcy. If it is not so. I'm just using that as an illustration, because that's what a lot of people see their marriage to be, an organization. So you, the husband, you have become a household CEO. You are the one that initiated the family. You created the family with your marriage intentionality. Now you have become the CEO. Your wife has become the director, one of the directors, which is project manager or the manager. So what you find is that both of you are just focusing on the household and never focusing on each other, never looking out for each other. Now, the absence of conflict in your marriage does not automatically mean the presence of emotional connection. No. It doesn't. Sometimes couples stop arguing because they have resolved the problems. But some other times, couples stop arguing because somebody has stopped caring. One person is tired, stop caring, tired of fighting, tired of trying to survive the relationship. They are exhausted. So there's a big difference. If the problem has not been resolved and you have stopped arguing, it means that you are tired. You have given up because the problem has not been resolved, but you have stopped talking because you know talking will not do anything. Talking will not solve any problem. It will make things worse. So, but because of that, you stopped. So you are just there, overthinking, over laboring emotionally, and starving emotionally. This is what gives birth to bedroom, a roommate or a dry bedroom, a roommate trap that I'm talking about. It makes you to become a roommate. Now, I'm saying this now. Some of you are thinking, say, well, that sounds like my marriage. If you're thinking like that, do not immediately conclude. Don't conclude that your marriage is over. Don't do that. It's not true. You do not need to automatically assume that because I said that, then it's done. But you need to understand what has happened emotionally between you first, because you cannot repair what you have not correctly identified. Okay, so don't conclude yet. Now let's look at a few things. The trap number one: if you are not careful, you will build a trap, a roommate trap in your marriage. If you're not careful. And these are the things that people do. Number one, you only talk about responsibilities. You only talk about responsibilities. A marriage that only talk about responsibility, you are setting a roommate trap for your marriage. In your marriage, that's what you're doing. This is roommate trap number one that you have set, where you got married and all that you talk about is responsibilities. Is one of the signs of the roommate trap. In fact, I'm writing a book on this. You want to read it. I'm writing it. All married couples must read this. Those who are not married must read this book. but it's going to be on downloadable format. So we're going to put it on ebook format, not physical books, because the ebook one is easy for them people to read these days. So even me, I'm tired of having to get physical books everywhere. So we'll just put it on digital guide, but it's going to be available. The roommate trap. I've already started writing it, so it should be out soon. One of the signs of the roommate trap is this: you have only conversations, but your conversations has become functional conversations. You talk about children, you talk about bills, you talk about appointments, you talk about schools, you talk about work, you talk about food, you talk about shopping, you talk about household responsibility, you talk about moving a house, you talk about family commitment, you talk about money, you talk about who is collecting whatever, who is doing whatever. So your communication may actually be efficient, but efficiency is not intimacy. You can communicate extremely well. I mean, you can. A lot of you do. When it comes to co-parenting, you communicate well. But you are terrible when it comes to husband and wife. You are very terrible at communicating. When it comes to, it's terrible. When was the last time you had a conversation with your partner that was not something, that was not about something that needed to be done? Oh, I want you to do this for me. I want you to do that for me. I want us to go and do that. When was the last time you have a honest conversation that has nothing to do with activities? What should be done? Okay, let me put it this way. When was the last time you had a conversation with your partner that you discuss about your fears? You discuss about your dreams. You discuss about your disappointments. You discuss about something you are struggling with internally. When was the last time you had that conversation with your partner? When was the last time you had that conversation with something that you are excited about with your partner? You had that sit down, you were excited about it. When? What about something that you have been thinking about? When last did you sit down with your partner to discuss it and have that joy of discussing it? If all that you discuss about and have conversation of is who to do what to be done, what to be paid, what not to be paid, how to move somewhere, how not to, if that's all you do, you are setting a trap. And that trap is what? The roommate trap. Come on, somebody write it. The roommate trap. In the comment section, come on. The roommate trap. That's what you're setting. The roommate trap for your marriage. You are creating that trap for your marriage. You are creating it in your marriage. That's what, yes, the roommate trap. Thank you. The roommate trap right there. That's what you're doing. The roommate trap. Come on, man. The roommate trap is real. It exists. And I'm telling you about it. Many marriages are there now. In fact, according to statistics, 65% of marriage couple are in this vortex right now. This is where they are functioning. 65%. The roommate trap. Woo! When was the last time that your spouse became curious about the person that you're becoming? When was the last time your spouse expresses curiosity about you? When was the last time? Relationship or marriage requires more than exchanging information. Require more than exchanging information. You must also learn to exchange your inner words. You must learn to exchange your inner words. So if those, when, let me use the word when, not if, when those conversations disappears, emotional distance can quietly become normal. When those conversations disappears, emotional distance can quietly become normal. And eventually, you don't even notice it. And a lot of people have not noticed it. You come home, you eat, you watch television, you scroll on your phone, you scroll and scroll for hours, you don't even notice. And then the only thing that you will discuss is tomorrow. You talk about what you're going to do tomorrow. Oh, tomorrow I'm going to be working. I'm not working tomorrow. I'm going somewhere tomorrow. That's the discussion. And then you go to bed. You go to bed. When you are on bed before you sleep, what do you talk about? When you are lying down in that bed, in your bed, what do you talk about? Do you talk? No, you just go to bed. Do you have that moment to have the conversation? No, because everything is only what you're going to do. And then you repeat the cycle. And suddenly 5 years has passed. 6 years has passed. 7 years has passed. The relationship did not necessarily collapse. It slowly disappears underneath responsibility. Underneath responsibility. It slowly disappears. And this is exactly why sometimes you need someone outside the emotional system that you are functioning in, outside the emotional system of your marriage, to help you identify what actually is happening. You will need someone outside the emotional system of your marriage to help you see this. Because when you have lived, because you lived there, you lived inside a pattern long enough, you can expect what will happen. Dysfunction can start feeling normal. Dysfunction will just become normal. And that's where a lot of people are, because you've lived in that emotional starvation for more than 5 years, 6 years, 3 years, 2 years. You are just there. And now everything seems to be now. These are dysfunctions, but it's like it's normal. And you hear people say, well, that's marriage. No, that's not marriage. That's suffering. That's prison. That's not marriage. That's not the description of marriage. Oh, that's marriage for you. Welcome to the club. No, you chose. You created that trap. That is from you. That is your own marriage. You created your own. That is your own. What do you mean that's marriage? You know, some people go about saying it. Marriage is very hard. Though. It is very hard. It's very difficult. Forget it. If you are, don't marry if you are not ready. It's very hard. It is hard for those who did not prepare. Period. You don't tell somebody who always have A's in class and threaten him to say, this exam is going to be very hard. He would look at you and say, I don't think so. He would say, no. What do you mean? It's going to be very hard. Though. It's going to be a very hard exam. No, because he's prepared. He's an A student. He knew how to smash it. You that is not reading, you are not doing it. So you are the one that will be saying it is hard. You did not prepare for the exam. The same thing with marriage. So here's another trap. Trap number two. Trap number two. Trap number two. I'm talking about the roommate trap in marriage. Number two. You are physically together, but emotionally alone. It's a decision that you made. Here you are married to a woman or to a man, but you decided to be alone emotionally. You disconnect. This one is the most painful form of loneliness, because you are no longer You are not technically alone. No. Someone is right there, but emotionally you have chosen to disconnect. You feel by yourself, or your partner has disconnected from you. One person made up their mind to do it. One person. And emotional loneliness inside marriage can be confusing because people around you may not understand it. They may not understand it. There are things you cannot explain. You start swallowing things up in your mind. These are things, they are happening, but you can't explain it. Who will understand? Your husband is there. Your wife is there. But you can tell there is no function of either wife or husband inside the house. And you hear people telling you, at least you are married. At least they provide for you. At least they come home. Either your relatives are telling you this, or your mother, your father are telling you this, or your colleagues or friends that are telling you, at least they provide for you. At least they are coming home. So you start questioning yourself. Am I asking for too much from my husband or from my wife? No, you are not asking for too much. If I was to answer that question. You see, wanting emotional connection from your spouse is not asking for too much. It is never asking for too much. But we also have to be very careful here, because sometimes the person complaining about emotional distance has also unknowingly contributed to creating it. Let me say this. You may be complaining right now that your husband or your wife is emotionally distanced from you, but without knowing that you have contributed to create that event, that distance. What if the person tried to be vulnerable with you from the beginning of the marriage, and because of your low emotional intelligence or lack of emotional intelligence, you turn the conversation into criticism? The person who was vulnerable in conversation became the criticized one. You criticize them. What if every time they disagree with you, you became defensive? Or any form of disagreement, you call it disrespect. What if that is how you have contributed to it? Maybe someone stopped talking because they felt unheard. Maybe your partner decided to give you distance because you don't listen to them. It is only your own that will come to pass. It is only your own. You have to be the one that is in charge. So your feelings must be heard. Your opinions must be followed. Your demand must be granted, or your request must be granted. So the other person doesn't have any share on it. They will stop coming close. They will create that trap. Loneliness. Maybe the affection disappeared after 5 years as a result of unresolved resentment. Maybe emotional withdrawal became self-protection. Maybe work became an escape of your nagging, an escape from your silent treatment. Maybe parenting has consumed the marriage. Maybe your phone has replaced the conversation, because many homes today, that's what they do. They still, because they have all this media now, all this social media stuff, all of these activities, all this entertainment, then they stay on their phone. Their wife, they're sitting down with their husband or their wife. They stay on their phone and just be, have you seen it? Husband sit down, is on phone. Wife sit down on the phone, and they are there for hours, no talking. Hmm? Husband is watching. Husband is still doing his own. Can you imagine? Then once in a while they will turn to each other and say, "Can you see what I'm watching?" And the other one will say, "Me too, me too, me too." And they will be there for hours. Guess what? What you don't know that you're doing is that you are creating roommate trap in your marriage. You're creating it. And over time, you realize that you are no longer together, even though you are living together. Maybe it's familiarity that has become complacency. Familiarity has become complacency. And this is why I don't like immediately deciding that your spouse does not care about you. I don't do it. When I talk to couples, I wouldn't say, "Oh, your spouse doesn't." No. Because you that is complaining have contributed to the emotional experience, one way or the other. One way or the other. There is always a maybe. Because sometimes maybe, okay, something deeper has happened. Maybe. And that is why and what diagnosis is for. That's why you need diagnosing. Because the behavior you can see is not always actually the problem. The behavior is the symptoms. Emotional distance is often a symptoms, not the reason, not the cause, not the problem. The problem is underneath the distance. So if you complain that your partner is giving you emotional distance or not being available or distancing you, whatever they are withdrawing from you, that is not the problem. That is a symptom. The question should be, what created the distance? What created the emotional withdrawal? What created the emotional unavailability? What created the lack of communication? What created it? That's what we're dealing with. It's not what you see now. It is what is behind it. So that is the second trap, the roommate trap in marriage. That's the second one. And what is it? You are physically together, but emotionally alone. Emotionally alone. There is no connection whatsoever in the marriage. No whatsoever. Now, I want to share with you the third trap that could be set as a roommate trap that could be set or that could be created in your marriage that many of you have done that you don't know. Affection has become rare or mechanical. Affection has become, remember the word has become. It was not like that in the beginning, but it has become. You let it become. Yes, you let it. You allow affection to become rare and mechanical in your marriage. You allowed it. So you have, when you were allowing it, you created that trap. You created it. That roommate trap was created when you were allowing affection to become rare. When you were allowing affection to become mechanical. Okay, let me remind you. If you don't, let me remind you. Let's just do a rewind. Some of you are watching me now. You are couples. You're sitting down watching me. I want you to think the first time you met each other and you plan to be together. Those first few weeks, those first few months. Can you remember when you used to touch each other? For no reason. You just hug, you just kiss, you just hold hands. Can you remember those times? Ask your partner, do you remember? Do you remember? Do you remember? Ask them, do you remember? Yes, you remember holding hands. Sitting close together you couldn't just sit close together without leaning on each other. You always love to lean on each other. Do you remember that? And then all those times you walk past each other, you touch each other, you hit a bomb, you touch, you just do. Couples, you're doing all of this play. You started out early with those things. You look at each other with warmth. What happened now? What has happened after 5 years? I'm asking you. Some of you said it's even 1 year. 1 year, the whole thing start drying up. 1 year. Some 1 year, some marriages 1 year. Some marriages 3 years. It's just drying up. So in affection is becoming rare or mechanical. Now physical contact may happen only when somebody wants sex. Only when Oga wants sex. That is when Oga will touch body. I'm serious. There are couples who have never hugged each other until they want to have sex. Husband and wife, no hugging on a natural basis until sex. That's when the body will touch the other body. After sex. Even the sex himself has become mechanical. Why? It's infrequent. It's not frequent, very infrequent. And it's happening with so much emotionally disconnected partners. They are emotionally disconnected, but they are just forcing themselves. And guess what they say? They say, I'm just fulfilling my marital duties. I just want to fulfill my marital duties. What? So, okay, yes, you're fulfilling your marital duties. Is that with that attitude? So now, because of that behavior, they come no emotional connection. So there could be quarrel that has not been resolved. There could be hurt that has not been healed. So they will still go on just to come and ejaculate. And they say, I'm fulfilling my marital responsibility. So when the woman refuses or the man refuses, they themselves will start accusing the man of not fulfilling their marital responsibilities. Not knowing by so doing, they were creating a roommate trap in their marriage. You have a couple who are having intimacy completely absent. The other one will just look away. Something is just, nothing is happening. Not even a touch, not even a handhold, not even a hug, nothing, no chemistry, no connection, no passion in the intimacy. It's just dry. And you're creating. I'm showing you how affection and intimacy gradually become rare and mechanical. That is the roommate trap, because you allowed it. You allowed it. Now, here is something couples need to understand. Physical intimacy often reflects what is happening emotionally outside the bedroom. Let me say it again. Physical intimacy often reflects what is happening emotionally outside the bedroom. The bedroom is the manifestation of what has happened emotionally before the bedroom, outside, what you have been doing throughout the day, or whatever the moment is. If resentment, let me give you an example. If resentment is sitting between two of you all week, you cannot always expect passion to magically appear at bedroom. When it's bedtime, it will not happen. I said, if resentment is sitting in the heart and in the mind of two of you or one of you all week, even all day, let's even say all day, you cannot expect that when by the time you appear in the bedroom, it's going to be passionate. It's going to be tense. And it gets even worse if resentment is sitting in their mind for all week. So imagine someone feeling unseen in their marriage. They will lose passion when it comes to bedtime, when it comes to intimacy in the bedroom. Imagine, I'm talking about the trap of the roommate trap in the bedroom. Now, this is happening in the bedroom now. This is affecting the bedroom. I'm talking about affection gradually wearing off. Affection has become mechanical gradually. If your partner feel unheard, they will become mechanical. Affection will become rare to you. If your partner feel criticized, there is no gymnastic that will be enough in the bed. It will not work. No passion that will happen in the bedroom. No passion. They may not even, somebody said just now, he said, my body began to reject him after infidelity. My body began to reject him. You see that kind of conversation? My body rejecting. So your body can reject your partner if you feel unheard, if you feel criticized, if you feel rejected, if you felt unseen, if you have been taken for granted, if you are emotionally unsafe, if you are you getting it? Your body can reject your partner. So touching them, getting close to them, or even hugging them may not come to your mind. Anytime comes, you fight it. Say, no, 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 I can't do that. Because your body rejects them. This is the problem. I just told you what makes affection to become rare or mechanical. It is caused by either resentment, or your partner feels unheard, unseen, criticized, rejected, taken for granted, emotionally unsafe. All of that will affect their body. Their body may begin to, is begin reflecting what their heart has been experiencing. And sometimes the person being rejected sexually becomes resentful too. So it rub off. That means you that felt unheard, you that was lied to, you that felt rejected, your body begin to reject your partner. And by the time your partner feel rejected 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 times, he or she also becomes resentful too. So it becomes, that is what creates the roommate. That is what creates it. So this one will not think of going to their room, his own room. The other one will not think of going to our own room. So, or something, sleep in the couch or sleep in the children's room. Those kind of thoughts start coming in. Because one person was rejected. And then the other person feels that you didn't listen to me, that's why. And then the other one say, why will you reject me? So there is this emotional battle, a mind game going on. So now you created a circle. A circle has been established. One person says, you never want me. The other one says, you only touch me when you want sex. You only talk to me when you want sex. You only do this when you want sex. So one person feels rejected. The other person feels used. So, or both of them feel unwanted. So again, the worst part is none of them feel understood. And eventually, they stop trying. They stop trying. That is how roommates are created. That is how roommates are created. If you don't know now, I'm telling you. How many of you understand what I'm talking about? You get it. You get the point. You get it? Do you understand? Does that make sense? You get it? This is how roommates is created. Now, this is not about love disappearing. It is not about, oh, there's no more love. We don't love each other anymore. That's not what the problem is. Because attempts of connection have been repeatedly rejected. And that means there was an attempt at connection which failed repeatedly. It created the roommate syndrome. And if this is happening to you, somebody is asking, well, how do we fix it? You cannot fix what you do not identify. You cannot fix what you do not know caused it. You know that there is roommate syndrome. You know also that there is affection has become rare. That's what I'm telling you now. You know affection has become rare. Affection has become mechanical. But what you don't know is that you don't know why. Why did this affection from this person come? Why is your body rejecting them? What is going on? That's the emotional injury that you have to diagnose. It is not so for everybody. So I cannot just say now, okay, do XYZ, you will fix it. If you do this, no, that's not how it works, because you need to be diagnosed. That's why I recommend emotional diagnosis. Emotional diagnostic section is very important for you, because that is the only way you can understand, get clarity of what has happened, what led to it, instead of trying to get the symptoms resolved, fix the symptoms. Then you are not dealing with the real issue. So if I say now, okay, to regain your affection back, do XYZ, that will not fix it. That's what you have been learning. Oh, 5 steps to respark your connection. 2 steps to 5 tips to rebuild intimacy. All of those things doesn't work. It doesn't work because you are treating symptoms. You are not dealing with the curse of it, the root of it, the emotional pain and damage that has happened. You are not dealing with that. So you are talking about, oh, we don't meet anymore. Let's learn tips on how to connect. Let's learn tips on how to make our bedroom hot. And then you learn the tips. You practice it for 1 week. After 1 week, 2 weeks, everybody go back to their return to their tent, oh Israel. Everybody go back to their tent. And then the problem continue again. And you wonder why. And you say, we have done everything possible. It didn't work. No, you were treating symptoms. You were trying to fix the results. You're fixing the, that's the best way I could put it. Symptoms. You were fixing what you can see. But the cause of it is underneath. And you didn't look into that. Because whoever was giving you remedy didn't even look at it. That's why you need diagnosis first. You are assuming that you have to drag the other party along with you to get it done, to start the journey. No. It's starting the journey of finding what is happening does not require both people to appear at the same time. This is the error that many of you are doing. So he says he doesn't care. I have spoken to men, countless again. In fact, earlier on, I was having issue with men not coming. But I have a lot of men coming to my platform, sending me messages and listening to me, and a lot of men having private sessions. A lot. I'm serious. I'm not kidding. A lot of men one-on-one sessions. Why? Because many of them, most of them, their wives or their girlfriends or their woman is listening, and they themselves just came across it. And it's like, because they are not being, I'm not here to condemn them. They are not being condemned. They can understand that something, this is it. This is something I need to get clarity on. Exactly what I'm saying. So you start the journey instead of waiting to drag anybody. By the time you start the journey to discover, okay, this is what I'm experiencing in my marriage. what is the emotional cause of this? What is the emotional pain that is facilitating these results? Why am I experiencing this in my marriage? What is behind my experience? Not, oh, how can I treat this experience? Oh, I have problem with this. This is my experience. So can I get 5 tips or 5 guide or a book that I can read that will help me fix this experience? No, it is not about the experience. It is about what facilitated it, what created that experience. That is what you need to deal with. And you don't need the whole party to sit down to start it. One person can kickstart the journey. By the time you come, whether you're a man or a woman, don't drag anybody yet. You just come and say, you know what? I want to find out what is going on. This is our experiences in the marriage. This is what we'll be going through for the past 5 years, 10 years, 15 years, whatever it is. And say, okay. And then you understand, you get clarity. Now you have something to go back and tell your partner, you know what? Hear this. This is what I heard. This, you listen for yourself. I want you to listen to this. Please just listen. I don't want to accuse anybody. Just listen. By the time you listen, the person listens and say, please, if you want us to talk, let's talk about this. This is what a counselor said. This is what this man said. I want you to listen. Oh, do you take our marriage? Stop going publicizing it? No, this one is different. This one is a stranger. This one is a professional. This one is different. It's not just for everybody. This one, I seek help. So this is what he said. Now you have something to present. And then let's see what happens. In many cases, most men, they respond. In many cases. Because what they will find is not the regular thing that made them to say no to help, no to counseling. It's not the regular thing. So that's what you should do. Let's go to point number 6. What point are we now? So the first thing to book emotional diagnosis session. Money is facilitating the result. No, money is not the problem. That's so funny, but it's you know, I won't blame you for that. It's easy to say money is a problem. Money is a symptom. They say money problem is a symptom. Write that down. Money problem is a symptom. Money problem is a symptom. There are different emotional facilitators to that. So be careful when you say, oh, money is the reason. There's something behind the money symptom. So the money reason, the money problem, there's something behind it. That's what you don't know. Money problem is a symptom. Write that down. Very important. So go and meditate on that one I just said. Money problem is a symptom. Now, trap number 4. Trap number 4. We're talking about the roommate trap in marriage. The roommate trap in marriage that can be created. Number 4, you have stopped being curious. You have stopped being curious about each other. 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 You have stopped. You have stopped. Why did you stop? Why did you stop? Why did you stop being curious about your partner? Why did you stop? But you stopped. Why? And this is one of the dangerous one. This one is so dangerous. Very dangerous. Because familiarity is what creates assumptions. Write that down. Familiarity creates assumptions. Familiarity creates assumptions. You have been married for 10 years. So you think, I know my husband. I know my wife. I know him. I know my wife. Okay. You know them. So, in fact, the question is, do you actually know them? You claim, you assume that you know them because you are familiar with them. It's an assumption. You don't know my husband. I know my husband. You don't know my wife. I know my wife. You want to? I know my wife. I'm married her. Okay, for 15 years, right? For 10 years, right? Okay. So that familiarity, don't you think you are assuming that you know them? Okay, let's find out. Can we find out if you are assuming or not? Because some of you are here. That's the way you talk. I know my wife. I know my husband. So let's think. Let's assume. No. Let's see if you are assuming that you know them or you really know them. Okay, you knew who they were when you married them. People change. Experience changes people. Parenthood changes people. If they lost anything, they lose money, they lost something, it changes people. Success also changes people. Are you aware? Failure changes people. Age changes people. Financial pressure changes people. Even marriage itself changes people. The person sitting next to you now in your marriage, in your home, may emotionally be different, very different from the person you married 15 years ago. The person you married 10 years ago. They are emotionally different. So, when couples stop being curious, they stop discovering each other. When last did you ask your partner, what are you thinking about now? What have you been thinking about lately? When last did you ask them that question? You have stopped becoming curious. You don't even know what they are thinking about lately. You don't. Because you don't ask. When last did you ask your partner? What have you been finding difficult in your life of recent? What has been difficult for you? When last did you ask? Some of you, your partner cannot come to you and tell you what they are finding difficulty with. They can't come to you and tell you this is what I'm finding difficulty with. They can't tell you because you will not. They know you. They know how you will react. So they are used to it now. They don't tell you anything that they are finding difficulty with or they are struggling with. When did you ask your partner? When last did you sit with your partner and say, what do you want for the next 5 years? How often do you tell your partner, give me a goal, give me a plan for this thing for the next year? What plan do you have? What is your goal for this year? When last did you sit down with your partner and talk about your goals for the year? Not even 5 years, just 1 year, for the next 1 year. It was 2026, not too long ago. It was 2026, not too long ago. We are now in the 8th month. The 8th month of 2026. Now, the year is almost finished. Have you bothered to ask your partner how far? Even though you didn't remember that you asked them what was their plan for the year, have you bothered to sit down and ask, where are you going? When did you start doing this? That means this neglectful pattern, we just feel like it's up to them. That's what is creating the bedroom trap. The roommate trap that you're going through. You have stopped being curious about each other. You don't know what your partner is going through, what they are planning. You don't ask. You stop being curious. When last did you ask your partner, what do you wish I understand about you? What do you wish I know about you? When last did you ask? You say, I know them. I married them for 5 years ago. No. I say people change. Things change. The woman or the man that you are living with now is different from the one you married 5 years ago. Emotionally different from the one that you married 10 years ago. Emotionally different. Some husbands don't even understand this. A lot of women change emotionally after the first child they give birth to. A lot of women changes emotionally after the first child. When the child that opened the matrix, changes a woman's psychology, changes a woman's hormones, changes a woman's emotionally. Most men don't know this. And most women don't even realize it. Most women themselves don't even realize it. When a man becomes a father, emotionally and psychologically, things changes for him. It changes. Most women don't even understand this. So when you stop being curious about the man or the woman that you are living with now, and assuming that because you knew them 20 years ago, 5 years ago, 15 years ago, and then now conclude that you actually knew them, you are wrong. That is where you missed it. By doing that, you are creating, you see, the roommate syndrome. You are creating the roommate trap in your home because you are no longer curious of people about each other. When last did you ask your partner, is there anything you are afraid to tell me? When last did you ask them, honey, darling, is there anything that you are afraid to talk about? When last did you ask? It's been 15 years of marriage. It's been 25 years of marriage. It's been 5 years. When last? No curiosity. When last do you say that? What do you miss? What do you miss about us? What do you miss? What do you miss? And sometimes some people say when they ask, there is no question. I mean, there's no answer. You ask questions, then no people say, I don't know. Because he or she is not curious about you too. Because they are not thinking in that direction. So there's an emotional disconnect. There's emotional disconnect. Because these questions matters. Marriage is not just knowing someone's history. Hear me. I say marriage is not about just knowing someone's history. It continuously learning. Marriage is continuously learning their present life too. You are learning their presence. Every day you are learning. Only roommates keep and create schedules for marriage. There are no schedules for marriage. A roommate work with schedule. A partner work with the heart, knows the heart, study the heart. So the Bible says, is a deal with your mate, your partner, your wife. Deal with them with understanding. That's the study of the heart. You study them, you deal every day. Live with them with understanding. An understanding wife, only the Lord can give. So we are called to be curious. Curiosity leads to understanding. How can you be called an understanding wife? A man that understands and deal with his wife with understanding. How can you function in those two roles when you are not curious? When you don't exercise curiosity? That means when you don't study the heart of your partner. Tell me, how do you do it? How do you intend that's going to work? Thank you for your gifts, bro. A lady OMG. Oh, do you understand? How do you intend to do it? So this is what creates roommate. It's called the roommate trap in marriage. Let's go to number 5. The 5th trap, the roommate trap. The 5th one, the roommate trap in marriage. You live parallel life. You live parallel life. You live parallel life. It's like you join to divide. I don't know how that works, but people do it. They live parallel life. This one is when two people become increasingly independent inside the marriage. Increasingly, mark my words. It is when couple increasingly become independent inside the marriage. This one is very quick. It's a big trap. It can catch both couples. It's a trap. It's easily created. This one can lead to roommate easily. Increasingly independent desire inside the marriage. Increasingly independent desire inside the marriage. It is your life, and their life, your friends and his friends or our friends, your routine and their routine. My child. Have you seen some couple? Even let's say my child. They're talking to my son. He's talking to the partner. He said, my son said, leave my son alone. They're talking, no. It is husband and wife. It's not leave our son alone. It's not like our son said, no, it is my son. And women are very good with it. They use this word all the time. My son, my child, my. And if they are talking about it and you're thinking, okay, where did you get that one from? Where is it? Okay, it's not supposed to be our son. It's not supposed to be our child. Where is this my coming from? It is an independent mentality. That's what I'm saying. This one is dangerous. This one can create roommates very quickly. And most men often try to correct the women using that. Stop saying that. What do you mean your child? It's not our child. It's our child, but my son, my child. So they feel that because they brought forth the child from their womb, or they held the child in their womb for 9 months, automatically justify the ownership without actually thinking that there will be no pregnancy without the sperm. The man brought the life in. How are you going to carry a baby without the man? Then you must be married. You must be married. You must be married. So it is not one person that gives birth. You say that, but yet you claim it, my child, my son. Your routine, your phone, your friends. It's always my friends, my routine, my life, my thing, my car. Couples, they are living in the same house. You know what I'm saying? My car. My car. It's not our car. It's not like, oh, the car. No, it is my own car, my house. My. My this, my that. So continue. So what you've done is to create an independent mindset in the marriage. Now, guess what? This one is very common. You go and rent a house. You want to get married, though. You want to get married. In getting married, you plan a house. Now, in planning the house you want to move into, you already choose your room. The woman is saying, that's my room. The man said, the other one, okay, me will choose the other one. If you are a couple here, if you are young, you are not married. Let me talk to you first. If you are here, you are listening to me, you are not married yet. Learn wisdom. Never have the thoughts to start with separate rooms. You will remain in that way for a long time. You may never come back. You may never have one. I'm telling you, never. I learned this thing many years ago. Many years ago. What is this idea? That a husband and wife will have their own rooms. Where did you get that from? No, why do you do it? And that's what I know. At least it's good. I have my own space. You have your own space. You shouldn't have married. If you were looking for your own space, you shouldn't have married. You were wrong to marry. If you are the one that looked for your own space, you were wrong to marry. You shouldn't have. You made a mistake. And I just needed I don't need a room for myself, a separate room for myself, that whenever we are angry, whenever something I don't like, I will just go there and hide. No. There is no reason that is justifiable for that behavior, for having a separate room as couples. If you are, and now those of you who are married, if you are hearing me for the first time, and some of you are not hearing me for the first time, you're just that you are just stubborn. You didn't want to do it. Having separate rooms as couples is the easiest way to separate. That's called separation in the house. It's already done. It's the easiest way to divorce. In fact, the easiest way to get divorced. Just create separate room. That's why you're having problems now. That's why you have not been able to resolve the problem you have, because of the separate room identity that you created. Everybody go to their room, to their own corner. It's one of the facilitators of this. It creates the roommate trap easily. Now, I'm not saying to be independent is unhealthy. Independence in itself is not unhealthy. It's not unhealthy. Marriage does not mean losing individuality. No, it doesn't mean that. So I have to create this balance. But there is a difference between healthy individuality and relational separation. If you increasingly enjoy life separately, if you like it, if you enjoy life separately, you enjoy making important decisions separately. If you do that, you like to process your own emotions with everyone except your partner. You like to celebrate achievements with other people first, not with your partner. And you come home, you only interact when logistics is required or requires it. I want you to pay attention to what I'm saying. Because eventually, your spouse can become the person who knows the last thing, how to know the least about your emotional world, while technically being the closest person to you. If your partner does not know anything about these things, they are not part of these your decisions. They are actually divided from your emotional world. And that is dangerous. Not because automatically this person will cheat if they are independent. No, it's because emotional vacancy is created. You are creating emotional vacancy. It's not about cheating. It's about creating emotional vacancy. When you separate yourself like that, you're creating vacancy. And emotional vacancy creates vulnerability. That's why you see some husband or wife, they are in their various rooms. Each of them, they are doing something shady. They are doing something that is not healthy to themselves. That's why they do it. Their husbands today, they are tied and carried away into masturbation in their room, because they have their own living, their own room. And the woman is doing the same thing in her own room too. You lock the door. This is my room. And you wonder why there is roommate syndrome. Everybody is doing, you wonder now. Because this one have had his own pleasure by himself. The other one has her own pleasure. But so separately, but their husband and wife, they are pressurizing, or how do I put it? There's the word I'm looking. They are receiving pleasure to themselves individually. They are enjoying self-pleasure individually, but they live under the same roof because they are living in the same different room. You are complaining about cheating men, whereas the men are complaining about cheating wives. Do you know how many men have come to my DM and on a private section with me about dealing with a cheating wife? You know, just as much as women are complaining, the same thing is no longer a thing now. So it's not one-sided again. Oh, we are tired of having cheating men. It's not about them now more. We have more women now that are cheating. That's not the issue. That's a symptom. You are dealing with symptoms. That's the problem in our society. We just keep focusing on symptoms instead of dealing with the cause of the symptom. Cheating is a symptom. There is an emotional damage that produced that. There is an emotional vacancy that has led to that. That is not a vacancy that is left unoccupied. That need to be filled. So let's face reality. We should stop focusing on symptoms. Many of you don't even know which one is symptoms and which one is the real problem. That's the thing. We focus on the issue. What do you call it? The obvious the obvious manifestation of whatever we think it is as the problem, which is symptoms. Yes, somebody says, I think the best for everyone is to stay single. It is not so. The world was not created like that. You should create your own world. If you want everyone to stay single, go and start your own universe. Go and start your own world. Create your own earth. But this one that you are in, this very earth that you live in, it is created for mutuality. It is created for bonding. It is created for emotional connection. The human beings, that's why it's called earth. The human being that live on this earth functions based on emotional connection to do well. That is the only way it works. You have to create your own world to stay single and to stay on your own. Even the God that created you, the heavens are filled with his glory. You see, there are a lot of creatures there. There's no emptiness there. So you want to live an empty life, a single life. So go and create your own world. Just because you don't want, let me tell you something. This is not personal. I'm just speaking generally. There are people who do not want to learn, who do not want to put in the work to upgrade and update and develop themselves. Your emotional illiteracy is your responsibility. It is yours to bear. You have to make up your mind to be intelligent emotionally. As much as you are doing to yourself to be intelligent financially, God is not forcing that on you. As long as you are doing to yourself to be intelligent in the area of your academics or socially, you should also learn it to master your emotions. As long as you are learning to become spiritually inclined, no one is forcing you. You should also take that journey on yourself to become emotionally intelligent. If you don't take that journey, you are missing a lot. So instead of thinking that everybody will just be like you and just tolerate whatever and you can do whatever, it's not going to be so. You are living on earth. This is earth. Exactly. Somebody just said it. He said, I feel safe having my own room. Did you mark that word? I feel safe. That's the word. That's it. So if you flip that around, if you turn in the coin, what do you see? She is not safe. If she is made safe, there's no need for her to have her own room. Does that make sense now? So having her own room is not the problem. What is not the problem? Emotional safety. She lacks emotional safety in her marriage. Did you see that little diagnosis right there? It's as simple as that. That's why I said what you need is diagnosis. But you see, that is just the basics. There's a deeper one. Because for her to feel unsafe, there is a reason for it. She felt unsafe for a reason. And that needs diagnosing. We have to be diagnosed. That part needs diagnosis. You have to do it well. You have to go deep into that. Because you see, there are things that have happened that may have damaged that safety, that made her to feel unsafe. The man may not know it. The woman may not even understand it, but she feels the pain, but she doesn't know why she feels that pain. And then she said, you know what? I'm gonna just go on my room, stay on my room and stay on my own. I'm tired of talking, I'm tired of this, I'm tired, whatever it is. Now to stay there. So do you think that having her own room is not a problem? No. Having her own room is not a problem. She said that I feel safe having my own room. That means if she has not been feeling unsafe, she will not have a need for a separate room. So what is needed now is to restore safety without the room. That means we will remove the room from the equation and then provide her safety and see where she wants to stay. Where else do you think she would like to stay? In the husband's arms. But because the husband's arms is not safe, she decided to stay in the room without the husband. And this is the wisdom. This is clarity. It's clarity. It's clarity. So that's why you need, see, that this separate room is going to be worse. It's not going to help anything. As long as you created that separate room, nothing will be better. It cannot be better. It cannot be better. So that division is already there. You understand? It's already created. So you have to return to your husband's room. But to do that, there must be safety. He must be, see, parallel life destroy marriage. Parallel life is not meant for marriage, period. So there is no reason to stay parallel. If you have it, resolve it. That's why we're talking to you. Resolve it. Book an emotional diagnosis session and see what you can do to resolve it. If not, then get a recommendation on what to do. Don't just stay there because you are making things worse. What are you teaching your children? I hope you don't. You don't put them into it because that's what you're doing. You don't know that you're imparting the children with your unhealthy marriage lifestyle. Because that's the legacy you're leaving for them. Listen to me. This is very important. People naturally gravitate towards places where they feel seen, where they feel loved, where they feel heard, where they feel valued. People naturally gravitate. This is nature. This is human laws. Understand human chemistry, human emotions, human nature. This is it. This is emotional. This is very important. People naturally gravitate toward places where they feel seen, where they feel loved, where they feel heard, where they feel valued. They gravitate. If you are pulling away from those places, it's because you don't feel loved. It's because you don't feel heard. It's because you don't feel valued. It's because you don't feel loved and accepted, appreciated. That's the reason you are pulling away. Once you understand what I just explained to you, you begin to address your relationship and marriage in a very different light. How you treat your partner becomes your utmost focus, priority. How you treat them. Some people don't know that their behavior is extremely unhealthy towards their partner. They don't even know. Some people intentionally just punish their partner, intentionally to punish them. Now, that does not justify infidelity if you're married, though. You say, hey, did you hear him? Did you hear him? So that just answers a lot of things that we're talking about. No, it does not justify your infidelity. Just because I said people will naturally gravitate towards places where they feel seen, heard, and loved and valued, doesn't mean say, hey, you don't value me. Oh, that's why you don't value me. I don't feel seen. I don't feel heard. That's why I followed him. That's why I fall for the other man. That's why I fall for the woman. That's why I'm dating. That's why I have baby mama or what do you call it, concubine, whatever you call it, or side chick. No, that does not justify the infidelity if you're married. That's why you need emotional maturity, emotional intelligence. Build your emotions strong to be able to understand this. Because healthy marriage should not ignore the emotional condition that make external validation increasingly attractive. Let me say that again. Healthy marriages should not, I'm speaking from there because that's where I live, so I can talk to you. I said healthy marriages should not ignore the emotional condition that makes external validation increasingly attractive. If your marriage is attracting external validation, then you are ignoring the emotional conditions of your marriage. Do you understand what I'm talking about? A lot of marriages, this is what they have done. They have ignored the emotional conditions of their marriage. And now you are exposed to external validation. And it's increasingly attractive by the day. Increasingly attractive. And it's destroying your home. That's what turns the marriage to become unhealthy. And if this is happening to you, stop guessing. What you need is an emotional diagnosis. You book a session. Use the link in my bio. Use the link in my bio or send me a direct message to do so. Now, I want to talk about 6 points. What time do we have? Do we still have some time? Let me talk about number 6. The 6th trap. We spend, how long have we spent so far? 1 hour, 35 minutes. Okay, let's make it 2 hours live stream. So let's take point number 6. Point number 6. Are you ready? Let me see. I hope I'm, because by 3. Should I continue? Okay. Guys, share the live stream. If you have not hit the follow button, this is the time to do it. For those of you watching everywhere, hit the subscribe button on YouTube if you haven't done so. For those of you watching on TikTok, hit the follow button. There's a follow button plus sign there. Come on, hit the follow the live stream. And those of you watching on Instagram, hit the follow button too. You're watching on Instagram and Facebook, hit the follow button. Share. Let's go. Let's go. So if a man has cheated to the extent of impregnating his child chick, what should you do as a wife? Whether there was pregnancy or no pregnancy, as long as there was a cheating involved, the question should be, what should you do as a wife? So there's already infidelity going on. The infidelity is a symptom. It is not focus. You are focusing on the wrong thing. You know that you are pained. You are emotionally bruised. You know that you're hurt. They have wounded you emotionally, not because they have a baby from the cheating. It's because they cheated in the first place. So the betrayal wound is obviously unhealed. That betrayal wound needs to be healed before you know what to do. Because when you are pained, when you are in pain, you don't think right. When you are in pain, your decisions does not go well. If you make decisions, make up your mind and decide on things when you are in pain, you will not make the right decisions because you will be acting from your pain. Your decisions will be facilitated by pain. So you might end up making the wrong decisions. A lot of time people do, 90% of the time. So what you need to do, your first journey, is to heal that trauma pain or that betrayal pain that you have. That betrayal pain must be healed. That's what you need to do. And how you do it is what you consult for. You have to book a session, and I'll tell you how to do that. Okay? That's what you do first. It's not about the woman. It's not about him. It's not about the pregnancy. It's about you protecting your emotional condition first. Protecting your vortex. You understand? It says, guard your heart with all diligence, for out of it are the issues of life. Your life is not dependent on the man or the woman or the child. Your life comes from within you, and inside you that is hurt and pain must heal before you can bring anything out. Otherwise, if you bring anything out from inside you with the pain, with the hurt, with the trauma, with the anger, you are going to destroy a lot of things. It will be venom. It will be it. Do you understand what I'm talking about? So you need to understand that that's the first step. That's the first step. Did that make sense to you, or was that too fast? Do you understand what I'm saying? If you do, tell me you do. The person that asked the question, how are you? Shares from Norway. Yes. Where's the person? Did you answer? Okay. So number 6, point number 6. It's not what you expected, isn't it? Okay. But that's the sure way. That's the sure way. Believe me, that's the sure way. Because until you feel emotionally protected and safe, whatever comes out of you will only resort to more danger, more destructive results, and you don't want that. It can only make things worse if you are still in pain. So, point number 6, or I'm talking about the trap. We're talking about the roommate trap in marriage. Number 6, you have stopped fighting, but nothing was actually resolved. You have stopped fighting. Thank you, great youth. Thank you. You have stopped fighting, but nothing was actually resolved. You have stopped fighting, but nothing was actually resolved. Most of you in your marriage, that's what has happened. You have stopped fighting, even though you are still together. A lot of things have not been resolved. Just because you don't really argue anymore doesn't mean that everything is okay. It is not good news when all the argument has stopped and the argument were not resolved. It is not good news. If all the arguments have accumulated for so long to turn to resentment and they now stop talking to you, it is not a good news. If you have not developed a healthier conflict resolution skills, if you have not developed it, then it means you have not learned to resolve conflict. So one of the problems that you will stop fighting because you're tired. You're tired not because things were resolved. You're tired because they were never resolved. Of course, you will not be tired if they were resolved in the first place. Some people are resigned. They have resigned emotionally. And they call it peace. I'm just on my own. I just want peace. I just stay on my own because I want peace. You have resigned. Resignation, emotional resignation is not peace. Because you are saying, I tried talking, nothing changed. I tried again and again, nothing changed. I've explained, I have cried, I have planned a complaint to my parents, I've complained to everybody, but nothing changed. I have become angry, I have done everything. In fact, I have to become quiet. I just have to just relax and I want my peace. I just keep my peace. You see, since I keep my peace, things are now finally better. No, Since I decided to keep quiet, I stay in my own room and I just don't do my own thing. We are now peace, and we are not enjoying peace. No, that's not peace. That's not peace. Just because you have stopped expecting anything from your partner doesn't mean you are at peace. That's what you have done. You have stopped expecting any change. You have stopped expecting any change from them, anything good. Can anything good come from them? I don't think so. You say that nothing. And that's the dangerous territory that you have created. Because disappointment can eventually become detachment. Are you aware? It's not tolerant. That is the wrong. It could be tolerant to some extent, but that's not healthy tolerance. That's not healthy tolerance. Once someone becomes deeply emotionally detached, rebuilding connection can become much harder. I want you to mark my words. Once someone in the marriage becomes deeply emotionally detached, rebuilding connection can become much harder. I didn't say it is impossible. I said it will be very hard. I never said it is not possible. I said it is very hard to rebuild connection. So when we talk about rebuilding emotional connection in marriage, you have to understand how deeply there have been detachment. What level of detachment has happened in that marriage? See, the levels of detachment will tell you the kind of approach that the rebuilding process will take. I did not say it is not possible to rebuild connection. I said it become much harder. So that means look at the level of detachment. If the level of emotional detachment is deep and deep and deeper and deeper, very deep, and become very, very, very deep, that's how hard it will be. It become harder, very harder, very hard, very hard. So that's the point. I'm not saying that it's not possible to reconnect. It is possible, but it becomes very difficult. So look at your marriage, look at your relationship. What is the level of detachment that you think you have? And that will determine the level of recollection that is required, the rebuilding the connection. So do not measure your marriage only by how little you argue. The question you should ask is, do we still care enough to understand each other? Do we still care enough to understand each other? Do we still care enough? Number 7, roommate trap number 7. Your children have become the entire relationship. You have made your children the entire relationship. That is the problem. Your children became the entire relationship. That was a trap you created. That's what led to the roommates. To some people in their marriage, this is what they did. Once they started having children, they focused on the children entirely. So they started creating relationship with their children, that they converted their marital relationship into children relationship. So they changed the entire relationship system and make the children the entire relationship measure. I will explain. And this one has happened to many couples. Before children, they were, oh, honey, us, we, us. But after children, everything become the children, my child, my son, my boy, my child. And after after children started coming. So it is now the children, the school, the children, their breakfast, their meal, their lunch, whatever it is, the children and the activities of the children, the children and homework, the children and health, the children and childcare, the children and appointment, the children and clothes, the children and birthday, the children and responsibilities, the children, the children, the children, the children, the children, from the first one, from the first child till the fourth one now, it has been always about the children. From the first child to the second one, it has been always about the children, 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 children. Now, since you got married, though, and then you started giving, immediately you started giving birth to children, it became the children, children. The relationship became entirely focused on the children. That is why you became the roommate. Some couple, it is right from pregnancy. That's when the roommates start, right from pregnancy. Right from pregnancy. You gradually, the couple, you see, the couple relationship get pushed, gradually get pushed further and further down the priority list. It is no longer the top, it's now at the bottom of the priority list. You became excellent co-parents. Excellent co-parents. It's still all about the children. Guess what? Some single parents have made this mistake already. That's why they are not finding a suitable relationship after they have their children, single parents. This is one of their biggest problems. They make everything about the children, and then they transfer it into the next relationship. And they are telling the person that they want to have intimate relationship with for the rest of their life that, you know what? It's all about my children. They are telling that one, I don't play with my children. My children are my priority. You think that relationship will work? No. Guess what they are going to do? They will collect from you, eat you. You know what I mean by eating you? They will eat you, collect from whatever they can collect. They will zap, they will disappear. Because you already made them to know that they are not your priority. Hey, wisdom is here. Wisdom is talking. Who he that have ears to hear, let him hear. I've said it. He that have ears to hear, let him hear. And you are still doing it up to last week. Some of you just did it yesterday. You did it yesterday. You went to a dinner with this person. You went out, and the next thing is, you know, I have 2 kids. They are my priority. They are my strength. Now, when you start talking about the children, you get so emotional. You get so emotional that you forget your present state. The person can tell that you have lost consciousness just by by talking about your children. They say, hey, all of a sudden they can know that they are not a priority to you. So they are in trouble. So some of them who are good enough and wise, they will leave you. They'll tell you it will not work. But those who think, you know what is the thing? Let me collect what I need to collect. After all, I'm not her priority. I'm not his priority. So what do we do? Let me collect what I collect and I zap. Somebody say, I talk very late. It's not me. You are the one that learned very late. I've been talking. Go and watch my video. There's a video I did a year ago. I mentioned, I said, advice for single mothers. It was strictly for single mothers. And I talk about this particular one on the video. And I did a live stream over a year plus on the same thing. So you are the one that did not hear. You were late to hear. I've been talking. I've been saying it for years. I've been saying it. Nobody cared to listen. And now people are not listening because they are getting the feedback. As long as you make everything about your children, you will suffer relationship. Just leave it that way. There's nobody. Because I'm not saying the children are not important. They are important, but they have their place. Because the children will become older. And they will seek their independence without you. And suddenly you now, I always tell couples, be careful. Be careful. All these things that you are doing just because of the children. Oh, the children. Oh, the children. And you are ignoring your partner. You are not building closeness and intimacy with your partner. You are not connecting. Be careful, because suddenly one day you wake up, you realize the errors of your ways. Because one day these children will become older. One day they will become independent, and they will go to their various places, buy their own houses, live in their own places, live in their own house, and then you become a liability to yourself and to your husband or to your wife. Now, two of you is now looking at each other, nothing to do. You become strangers. Who are you? I'm your wife. You don't say I'm your husband. Really, I don't really know you. So your heart will start going back to your children in their various independent places, and you start calling them unnecessarily. Tony, it's me. Tony, your mom. Tony, it's me. Tony, your son, your father, it's me. Oh, daddy. Oh, I'm in the plane right now. I'm about to fly to New York. I'm about to fly to state. Can I call you? Are you okay? Yes. I just wanted to hear from you. You know, and I spoke to you last night. But are you okay? Yes. Okay, Dad. I'll call you back. I can talk to you right now. Mother is there. Wife is there. Guess you are lonely. You're lonely. You don't know how to connect anymore. And guess what? You start pursuing different recreational activity. That's when at 65, when the children has grown up and they are gone, at 65, you are going to the gym. At 64, 65 and 55, you are going to the gym now. You are lonely. You're jumping, you're running up and down, you're lonely. And then you start driving, try to think of business to do. You are lonely. Your husband doesn't stay at home. Look at how old. 50s. They're in their 50s. Children are grown and have gone. But you don't stay at home. You don't stay. You are running up and down from place to place because you are not in companionship with your partner. The person you marry, you never knew them. Now the children that you made everything to be your focus, they are all gone. They are all gone. Thank you so much for the money gone. The children were unconsciously holding the marriage together. You did not know. It was because of the children you stayed. Some people say, I'm just staying because of the children. You are correct. You are correct that you are staying because of the children. But the children will leave you. They will grow up. They will go. And what will you do? This man or this woman that you have been ignoring for years, that's when your eye will open. That this is who you are left with. This is who you are left with. I'm not saying don't parent well. Healthy parenting matters enormously. But your children should not have to become the emotional glue keeping. Do you understand? Don't make your children the emotional glue that is keeping your relationship functioning with your husband or with your wife. Do not make your children the emotional glue. See, be careful that the affection that your husband and your wife need is not channeled to your children. Oh, be careful. Be careful that the respect that your husband or your wife need is not channeled towards your children. Be careful. Be careful that the friendship that your wife and your husband need from you is not channeled towards the children. At this time, be careful, because one day the children will grow. One day they will marry. One day they will go to their homes. They will leave you and your husband and your wife. Then you realize that you have a lot of work to do. Some of you have made your children your emotional presence. What a mistake. What an error. You have made your children your emotional presence. You have made your children your emotional, affectional vortex, or what do you call it? They are affectional recipients. You are affectionate towards them than you are to your husband or to your wife. Instead of your children to be learning affection from you, from both of you, your parents, your husband is not the one learning affection from you and your children. Your wife is not the one learning affection from you and your children. You see the error there? Or they are jealous now. I mean, do you know that there are some husband and wives that are jealous of their partner because of the relationship they have with the children that they give birth to? The relationship. Because they have made the children, everything about the relationship is the children. Children learn relationship from what parents repeatedly demonstrate. So you may use them as an emotional glue for a while, but you have taught them that they should do the same thing to their children. Did you hear what I said? You may have done them to do it. You think you were loving them and caring for them, but you have imparted into them an unhealthy emotional relationship, whereby by the time they leave and go and marry, they will still do those things to their own children. You have created a ripple. It is a generational pattern that you have created without knowing. Some of you are like that today because that is what your parent did to you. You are doing exactly to your children what your parent did to you. You were the center of their focus. Like you say, my mother took care. I was the eyeball of my mother. I was the apple in her eyes. So now you have a child. The same thing you are doing to that child. So you don't care whether there is a man in your life or there is a woman in your life. I don't care whoever it is, but you can tell that you are focusing on the child alone, narrowing down. There was a man who wanted to date a woman. Every time the man says, my daughter is my world. My daughter is my universe. My daughter is everything to me. I do not make decisions without my daughter. He was telling the woman that he wants to, bring into his life as a wife. That she thought jokingly, oh, this was a joke. Maybe he's just talking. I know but he started reflecting in his actions. This man can leave this woman for 2 hours without and he will be on phone with his daughter. The daughter is in school. They will talk from one text message to another. The daughter can send him an errand. The father will leave in a hurry and go and do it. But when this woman is requesting for support, the man is thinking, what are you doing? Can't you do it yourself? Not knowing by so doing, he was interpreting something. You are not needed in my life, even though you are here. I don't really need you. So what do you expect that woman would do? What do you expect she would do? I'll leave that to you to answer. What do you think? Would you stay and try to make it work? Talk to me. Someone say, let's marry daughter. Okay. That was me with my baby daddy, and he left. And he left me for his relatives. Vanish in the thing here. Okay. So the same thing with women that make their children, single mothers that make their children their priority. The same thing will happen when a man comes into your life and he wants to take you on board. And yes, he agreed that you have children, but he wants to take you seriously and get you to know you and get married to you. But if all that you do is to show to him that your children are number one, your children are your world, your children are your entire focus, please don't marry. If that's what you do, don't marry. Don't even try to get into a relationship except you just want to have fun, because they will not take you serious. They will not take you serious. No. Okay, somebody said that's me right there. That you see, That's somebody just validating. Now, if she is honest, she will tell you that, you know what, no relationship has ever stayed. These men don't stay because they won't stay. If a woman knows that she can't stay when a man is prioritizing their child over them, how do you expect a man to stay when you are prioritizing your children over them? This is how roommate is created in marriage and in relationships. So I digressed a little bit into dating and relationship and singleness and single parents. So you can understand that. But it's wrong. That's why we need to educate. We need to learn these things and begin to program our emotions based on priorities. Because you see, I have so much to share with you. I have so many things to tell you. I'm telling you, there's so much to say. There's so much to say. There's so much to say. I'm looking at a lot of people that have made their children as the center of their relationship. This is the problem. It is a huge issue in all of the facets of relationship and marriage. I'm telling you, especially for single parents. It is a big issue. And they don't know the damage and how they are causing a division. Nobody would take that kind of relationship seriously. Do you understand? So change that. That's what creates what? These the roommate trap in marriage. And we have people who have lost their partner because of the children. It's all about the children. And you are losing your husband, you are losing your wife. And this is majority of this thing is happening to women. Women are the main perpetrators of this. That really make the children as their whole world. It become the center of the relationship. And I always tell men, don't let it. I'm not saying you should start putting rules in place. No. Get your wife emotionally occupied. That means become so available to your wife from pregnancy. I'm talking to somebody who just got married. You married 2 years ago, 3 years ago, 2 years ago, 1 year ago, and you are pregnant now. This is you. I'm talking to you now. If your husband is there, you should hear this. Both of you should be more emotionally connected than ever. That will send a signal to the child that there is an emotional availability in the family before the child comes. Many of you have turned your children to your emotional pillow, your emotional haven. Immediately the child is born, you channel your own internal emotional connection to the child. And it started from the womb. It started from the womb. You started bonding emotionally with your child from the womb. And the only way that can stop or reduce is when your husband and your husband are bonding emotionally during pregnancy. You have to bond. You have to bond. The man, it takes so much emotional maturity to do so. It takes so much emotional maturity to do so. You have to be emotionally mature as a man to handle that, to do so. I'm telling you. So that when the child comes, switch ties. Be the one bonding with the child instead of your wife. Be the one bonding. Let her breastfeed. After breastfeeding, make yourself available and take the child. Let the child know the feeling and the love of a father. By this is outside. I'm just giving you something that I know it will change everything for you, because it's easy for a woman to recover from a. I mean, if you do this, that's what I'm saying. It is easy for the woman to recover from postpartum trauma. It is easy. But if you don't do it, she will never recover. That postpartum trauma, she will never recover. If you don't do this, I'm talking to men now. You have to be able to understand that. You have to be able to understand that. There are so many men that disconnect from their husband, from their wives when they get pregnant. So many men that I know, they disconnect and they never recover. That emotional disconnection never reconnect back. It becomes an issue even after second child, third child, fifth child. It is worse. It just gets worse because they don't understand these things. Anyway, let me move on from there. I just thought I should say that I can write a book on that alone. Just that aspect I just mentioned. A whole book should be written. Another trap that is created, which is called the roommate trap in marriage, is that you start feeling more like business partners than lovers. Once you start feeling more like business partner, you better stop it. Break that cycle quickly. If you now notice that you are more into business partnership than lovers, that means you are, as a husband and wife, you are talking about more businesses than you talk about yourselves and your love life and your intimacy and your relationship and your marriage. Then you are in trouble already. Stop it quickly. And this is what a lot of people don't pay attention to. They think, oh, now we are business partners, we are talking business. I think that's how the marriage increases. No. So marriages become incredibly organized. They do. By just being a business partner. But marriage that is strictly business is business. Bills are paid. Children are cared for. House function well. Everybody knows their responsibility. From outside, everybody looks successful. Everything looks nice. But inside it, there is no romance, no playfulness. Everything, I'm tired because everybody has been busy. The other one is focusing on business in the other side. The other one focusing on another business. Everybody have business. So everybody's busy. And then guess what? Everybody come home, they're tired. Husband come tired. Wife come tired. Nobody check on each other emotionally. There is no romance, no playfulness, no flirting on each other, no intentional dates, no anticipation, no emotional energy. You get it? And eventually the relationship becomes contractual. Eventually. And that's why you start having scorecard. The scorekeeping. I did this. Did you do that? I did that. You're supposed to do that. Me, I did that. Why didn't you do that? I've always done this. Why didn't you do this? I'm always initiating. Why didn't you initiate? I'm always the one cook. I cooked yesterday. Why didn't you cook today? Me, I'm busy too. I have something to attend. I have this. Why don't you do it? You do this, you did that. It becomes an issue. So you turn your marriage to become an accounting system. This resentment grows in a marriage where love becomes primarily transactional. When you turn the love of your marriage into a transactional deal, resentment will grow easily. So marriage requires absolute responsibility. Absolutely. But responsibility without emotional connection creates partnership without intimacy. So you can't be focusing on business and ignore the emotional connection that brought both of you together in the first place. There are couples that do businesses all around the world. They have companies and businesses, but their emotional state is disconnected. There is no intimacy. There is no connection. They have money. They have things. They are building estates. They are building mansions. Together, they are raising companies. But they themselves, they are functioning without intimacy. They themselves. And it's causing problems. Did you marry your partner as an acquired, reliable household colleague? Is that what you did? I'm asking you, did you marry your wife to be a household colleague? Or did you marry your husband to be a household colleague? You wanted a companion. So you married a friend. You should have keep friends. Keep that friendship. You married a friend. You married into intimacy. You married partnership. You married affection. You married belonging. And you married emotional connection. Do not let these things leave you. If you do, it will become transactional. There are marriages now. They are not feeling like though they are companions. But that's what they married. There are marriage now, couples who doesn't feel like though they are friends. But that's what they married. They wanted friends, a close friend. He said there is a friend that is closer than a brother. That's why you left your family and married a man, a woman that you call your closest friend. That's what you wanted to have. But you is now that's not what it is, right? You married into intimacy, but you are starved of it. You are starved of it. You don't even know when last you had one. You can't even remember. Partnership is not there. Affection is missing. So what am I telling you? What am I sharing with you? These things I mentioned is what creates the roommate's behavior, the roommate experience in marriages. It's called the roommate traps. I've been sharing with you for the past 2 hours the roommate traps, and I've listed several points, 8 points right now, 8 points that can create roommate experience in your marriage. These are traps. Number 9, you have stopped missing each other. After 5 years of marriage, you no longer miss your wife. You don't miss your husband. After 4 years of marriage, after 4 years, just 4 years, just 4 years. After 5 years of marriage, 5 years, just only 5 years. After 5 years, you don't miss each other again. After 6 years, you stop missing each other. Let me ask you a question. I want to ask you a question. For those who are married, if you're married, I want to ask you a question. Can I ask? Okay. Okay. I want to ask a question. Only those who are married should answer this. Be honest. Be very honest. When your spouse is not around, do you actually miss them? Or do you feel relieved? Be honest, be truthful. When your spouse is not around, be honest. Do you actually miss them or do you feel relieved? I need an answer. Be honest. I mean, be honest. See, there's no difference. Oh my goodness. I need you to be honest. Can't tell the difference. Relief. Release is on understatement. I don't miss them. So you see, it's like heaven on earth when they are not around. Can you imagine what is going on? Guys, can you read what is going on? What is going on right now? Can you read what is can you read the comment section? The question was, When your spouse is not around, do you actually miss them or do you feel relieved? And I say, be honest. A lot of the comment is saying that they feel relieved. A lot of the comments say, this is serious. I'm glad that I asked the question. Even somebody is saying relieved is understatement. Only one person or two that said they miss their partner in this place. Only one person or two that say they miss their partner. Can you imagine what's going on? Let me tell you, for those of you that said relief, it reveals something. Maybe you are relieved because conflict disappeared when they are gone. Maybe. It just reveals something to me. Maybe you are relieved because you don't have to monitor their mood. That could be it. Their emotional ups and downs. Maybe you are relieved because you can finally relax, emotionally relax your mind and relax. Maybe you are relieved because being together with this person feels emotionally demanding, right? Maybe you are relieved because disappointment disappears when expectation disappears. So as long as you were not expecting anything from them, they are not around, no expectations, no disappointments. Now let me talk to you. That does not automatically mean your marriage should end. Some of you ended your marriage because of that. Some of you are planning to end the marriage because of that. That does not automatically validate the end of a marriage. It means something needs investigating. Something needs investigating. You do not diagnose the future of a marriage from one feeling. You do not diagnose the future of a marriage from one feeling. You investigate the pattern. There is a pattern underneath the feeling. That relief that you felt, there is a pattern underneath it. How can you say, I am relieved? Now, you said it, all right. But just to think about when you say, I am relieved when my partner is not around, you don't miss them, is the major reason why you are roommates in the first place. There is the pattern that is responsible for that. Just because you express emotional disconnection or you experience emotional disconnection in your relationship does not mean you should conclude that you married the wrong person. Or that you have fallen out of love. Maybe. But before making a permanent decision, understand the emotional architecture of what happens. Before making a permanent decision, you need to understand the emotional architecture of what happened. What changed? When did it change? What changed? When did it change? What happens before the change? What remained unresolved? What needs have gone unexpressed? What expectations were repeatedly disappointed? What resentment is accumulated? What emotional habits developed? What repair attempts that have been made that failed? That is emotional diagnosis. Until you go through all these questions and be able to understand the answers to them, it is not valid for you to walk away from your marriage. For those of you who have not, who are in the, I'm just not to everybody. Some of you have left your marriage since, but it wasn't valid. That feeling is not enough. And the last trap I want to talk about before I begin to give room for questions and answers. The last trap I want to talk about, this is the roommate trap number 10. The roommate trap number 10 that is created, that roommate trap is created in marriage. Number 10. You are starting to imagine your life without them. You start imagining your life in the marriage, or you are married though, but you're already imagining your life without them. And this is where the roommate trap becomes serious. You start imagining another life without them. Not necessarily another person, no, just another life. You wonder what will peace feel like if you live alone? You start wondering. You start wondering, would I actually be happier if I live alone? You start wondering. Is this what marriage is supposed to be like or feel like? You start wondering. Can I live like this for another 10 years? You start wondering. Would anybody ever understand me emotionally? You start wondering. Now, sometimes those thoughts frighten you. Why? Because you still love your partner. And that is contradiction. Because you can love somebody and still be deeply unhappy with the relationship you have created together. It is possible. You can care about somebody while feeling disconnected from them. It is possible. You can want the marriage while desperately wanting the current version of the marriage to end. It is possible. Sometimes you don't want to leave the person. You just want to leave the pattern. Sometimes. And that is why before making major decisions, you need clarity, emotional diagnosis. You need clarity. So how do you get out of the roommate trap? How do you get out of it? How do you get out of the roommate trap? Now, before I answer that question, how many of you here, that is your experience? Your marriage is in the roommate trap syndrome. You are feeling that way. Roommate trap. Let me know. Say yes, 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 yes. If your relationship or marriage is in that roommate trap, let me know. Okay. Me or yes, yes, yes. Okay. How do you get out of it? Be honest now. How do you get out of it? I want to show you something. What to do. Don't say, oh, let's go out for a date. You cannot fix this with one date night. Thank you. But listen to what I'm saying now. You cannot fix this with one date night. You do not fix years of emotional distance with one holiday. Do you know a lot of people are a lot of couples have gone for holiday this period, but they are still quarreling. In the holiday, they are still fighting. In the holiday, it's like, let's just try. Let's just try and make it work. That's the way the holiday feel. Let's just try and make it work. Very soon, winter will come in. School will resume. Children will go back to school very soon. Back to school journey will start. It's very soon. Then activities, everybody's back to activities again. You do not fix accumulated resentment by buying flowers or Gucci bags. What's the latest one now? What's the latest bag for the women now? What's the latest one? I don't know the fashion names. This is happening. You see, what's it called? Bikini? Is that bikini? Is that big what? Is a lot bikini bag. Okay. So you do not Michael what? Michael Kors? Okay. You do you see different names. These people are making money on you guys. Gucci, Jojo Armani bags. Okay, there are many. The names are there. Chanel, Hems. Okay, good. So you do not fix accumulated resentment by buying gifts. No. Even Ted Baker, wonderful. You do not do it that way. Those things, okay, they can help for a little, but they are not diagnosis. They are not diagnosis. Instead of buying flowers and Gucci bag and all that, take that time, that resources, that money, book a diagnosis. You need a diagnosis session. You need to identify the actual breakdown. You need to have answers to these questions. When did we stop feeling emotionally close? You need answer to those questions. What happened around that period? What have we never properly resolved? You need answers to those questions. Gucci bag will not do that. Jojo Armani will not do it. Chanel will not do it. It will not do it. KFC will not do it too. All those money you're spending for those things will not do it. So you need actual clarity. What does my spouse, what does he or she resent about me? You need to know. Some of you don't even know what your spouse resent about you. What do you resent that have stopped, that made you to stop talking to your partner? What do you resent that you stop talking about? You don't know your partner. No. You need to find out. Where in your relationship or marriage did you feel unseen? Where does your spouse feel unseen? What happened when one of us tried to connect and it doesn't work? How do we do it? What happens during conflict? Who pursues? Who withdraws? What emotional need are repeatedly missed or dismissed or ignored? What assumptions are we making about each other? Perhaps this one is very important. Do we both actually want to rebuild this relationship? Because restoration requires participation. One person can initiate change, but one person cannot permanently carry an entire marriage. No. And this is why diagnosis comes before advice. That's why I do it. I will never advise anybody without diagnosis. Never. That's why I know a lot of people go for, they say, I went for advice. No. Don't come to me and expect an advice the first meeting. I won't give it to you. It will not work. No. The first meeting with me is a diagnosis. And you will not feel that you'll be diagnosed because we'll be chatting. We'll just be talking. I will let you speak. You are the one to talk. You will say everything. I will be asking you open-ended questions. You will just be talking and giving me answers. That's my diagnosis. By the time I'm done, and I will tell you what my diagnosis are. And that is when the advice will now come in. That's when recommendation comes in, because now we know what we are dealing with. One of the biggest mistakes struggling couples, the mistakes they make is collecting random relationship advice. Is one of the biggest mistake I found in the relationship industries. Everybody's copying each other and repeating it. Everybody just copying tips, advice, steps, 5 signs, same 5 speed. You're just copying and replace. It's not helping. And that is not what you need to solve the problem. And you hear them telling, oh, you need to communicate more, go on a date, have more sex. Now they came up with this series of sex issues. Oh, you have to have more than five, have sex often. I mean, you must have sex 5 times a week or 4 times a week, 32 times. As though that would make the marriage work. No. You hear them different videos. I will laugh. I say, all these things, they are funny. It doesn't help. It doesn't help. I will say, okay, they will tell you, give each other space, spend more time together. Okay, you know that people who are told to spend more time together, and they did spend more time together. Doing what? So they started watching movie. So they said, okay, let's spend more time together, and they are watching movie. They watch movie together, and in that movie they are fighting. The other one say, no, I don't like that. You see, that's what women see. They see husband and wife, or those in a relationship in the movie. Each of them start interpreting it to themselves. See, no wonder. You see how marriage work in this. You see, this no woman will do, no husband will do this, no wife will do this. They start fighting. The fight begins from the movie. So spending time together is no longer working, because that's not what you really need. For you to spend time together, you must first of all heal. If someone is emotionally bruised, what time will you spend together? You won't have time. You won't want to spend time with you. So these are the things you must understand. If the problem is broke, if trust has broken in your marriage, telling someone to simply move forward or move on may not even work. If the problem in the marriage is emotional withdrawal, forcing conversation may create more withdrawal. If the problem in the marriage is chronic criticism, asking for more vulnerability without changing the emotional environment may not work. So this is why I believe couple needs to stop asking only, how do we fix our marriage? How do we fix this? How do we fix that? It's not about fixing. That's why you see those questions are always coming with, how do I fix? How do I deal? How do I deal? It's not about how do you deal with the problem. You are talking about symptoms. You want to focus on the symptoms? How do you deal? It's not about dealing with the symptoms. It's about understanding the problem first. How come about it? That would take care of the symptoms. If you take care of the problem, the symptoms will disappear. The question should be, what exactly is happening inside my marriage? And that is where we come in. That's why I say you keep on the change mindset. And to do that, you have to know what to change. Booking an emotional diagnosis is the first way to go. That's the first thing. If you want to break out of it, out of that, get a diagnosis. You can't do it yourself. So general advice will not work. I know some of you are waiting for tips and steps. No, it doesn't work like that. You have been, look at how long have you been married for? 40 years, 30 years, 25, 26, 20, 15 years. You, 5 years, 8 years. Is it the first time you're listening to a relationship coach or a counselor? No. Most of you have gone to several therapy sessions, counseling before, right? So That's not it. But we are still, it's still an issue. We still have issues with this thing. So it's not about the advice. It's not about, oh, we go for counseling. So what are we told? I've had some people, they'll say, okay, I went for a therapy session. I went for counseling. I said, okay, what did they say? Say, oh, they said that, and then they talk about this. I said, okay, did they address this part of your relationship? Say no. Did they talk about the emotional conditions of your relationship? Say no. Did they address the emotional situation of your marriage? Say no. So you mean they didn't talk about that at all? Say no. Okay. All right. So what did they talk about then? How were they able to give you advice when they did not diagnose your condition? How were how were how were they able to recommend when they did not diagnose your situation? I keep asking that because I don't know how they do it. Because everybody just hoping to get advice. No, no, no. Okay, so that's what I have to tell you. I have a lot to say to you today, but I have to round it up right now because there's so much coming in. Finally, I want to let you know if you want a one-on-one section, go to the link in my bio and book your diagnosis now. Whether you're married or single or your relationship is not working, go and book a diagnosis session. If you are dating, you are quarreling all the time, there's misunderstanding amongst you. Is don't ignore those red flags. Don't ignore them. All you need to do is to book emotional diagnosis session to understand why you are in that situation in the first place. The person itself is not your problem. It is the situation that you are experiencing. You need to understand how come about it. Why are you in that vortex? That is what emotional diagnosis does. So, for those of you watching me for the first time, please hit the follow button if you haven't done so. If you're watching me anywhere in the other social media, I would like you to also hit the follow button. Thank you so much. Now let's take some questions. Now, if you have not visited my website yet, go to my website for contact, booking a session, whatever you want to do. You can visit my website, familyaspect.co.uk, or you go to familyaspectafrica.com. For those of you that live in Africa, you go to familyaspectafrica.com. I didn't say those of you that are Africans. I said those that live in Africa. Go to familyaspectafrica.com. If you live in Africa, I didn't say if you are an African. If you live in Africa, so go to family aspect dot I mean familyaspectafrica.com. You can see it on the screen. And I just published a book on my website. A new book has just been published, and it is titled the. Just hold on a minute. Sorry. Those of you watching me on YouTube, Instagram, and Facebook, I want to thank you for joining us. I can see I try to look at the the comment section if I have any comment, but I can't really see it from there. Thank you so much for joining us. I appreciate you. All right. You can visit my website also. The website is on the description of the video, or you can just take it down www.familyaspect.co.uk, or you can just go to familyaspect.co.uk straight up. Now, all right, be able to get our resources, read our books, my book, and also book a program or a section with us. That's fine. Thank you so much. I'll see you tomorrow on our live stream.